we talked about freezing embryos, and the technology that we use all the time, especially like IVF. We take a seed and we take an egg, we put it together and we put it in the womb, and we say, that's good. And I'm not here to speak against anybody that's had IVF, but what I'm trying to say is there's a technology that is behind this, and it's kind of like, what were you doing in order to develop this, and what is the end goal? Remnant. Welcome to the Remnant, where you are the remnant. Today I wanted to do a video on something that's a bit different. Usually we've been doing videos on inner healing, deliverance, and like witchcraft and dreams, and we're going to continue to do those things. And in 2023 we have a lot of things that are lined up, which is great. I'm really looking forward to it. But the premise behind even doing these videos was that there's a portion in the Bible where Satan comes to tempt Jesus, and basically Jesus says that there was nothing in me for him to tempt. And I believe, like, in such dark times, and with the assignment that God has given us as the remnant, we're gonna go into dark places, we're gonna go into dark areas. There are territories that we need to take, there's souls that need to be saved, and there's gonna be wars that we need to fight. And we need to have the same response as Jesus, where we can say, the enemy came, yet there was nothing in me. What does nothing in me mean? It means that there's no generational curses in me, there's no bitterness in me, there's no unforgiveness in me, there's no open doors via these different areas. And the whole premise of going through these topics and going through these open doors is to begin to close these open doors, that when we now step into our assignment, we can be effective and operate in liberty and operate in freedom. Now, on the flip side of that, we need to understand the environment and the place that we're in at the moment. If we're gonna be the remnant, we need to be aware, because we don't want to be in a place where we're going to be deceived. We don't want to be in a place where we just have so much tunnel vision that we're not aware of what's going on around us. The Bible tells us and commands us to watch and pray, and a lot of us, we like to pray, but we're not watching the seasons, we're not watching what God's doing, we're not watching what the enemy's doing. So a lot of these videos that I'm going to start to produce, and they're not going to be as long, they're going to be shorter videos, but they're going to be highlighting some of the issues and some of the things that are coming to us in the next few years, the things that the body of Christ is going to need to face and prepare for as the remnant. Now, we're going to look at topics like transhumanism. We're going to look at topics like what's going on in the technological environment. We're going to be looking at what's going on with finances, because we can't afford to look at things like this and take, like, we just see one movement going on and another movement going on and another we have to understand that all of these things are connected. What's going on in the schools and what's being taught in the schools is connected to what's going on with technology. What's going on with technology is connected to what's going on with finance, because it's an anti-Christ agenda. Right? It's not going to be, they're not going to come after you as a Christian in one way and leave you in another way. No, they're going to try to introduce a whole system. And that's what the beast system is. It's a way of doing things. So it's not going to be just in one area. No, it's going to be like, okay, so there's a way to raise children. There's a way to integrate technology. There's a way to do business, there's a way to run finances, and it's all going to be a part of one system. There's going to be one world religion, and we've already seen this. Chrislam, that's a new thing now. Just a few weeks ago we had the Pope going up to Mount Sinai, the fake one, declaring a new 10 commandments. There's a lot of things that are going on, and we have to be aware so that we can operate effectively in the last days as the remnant. Now, this video has been going around about these artificial wombs, and I mentioned this in the first thing that one of the first videos I released was, do women have rights? And I mentioned, artificial wombs and, freezing embryos and so on and so forth. So this video has been flying about, but this isn't the first time that I've seen these things. So I'm gonna play a bit of this. I'm gonna play a bit of this video. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. I'm just gonna play a little bit of this video, so you can get an idea of, what's going on.
Introducing Ectolife, the world's first artificial womb facility, powered entirely by renewable energy. Ectolife allows infertile couple to conceive a baby and become the true biological parents of their own offspring. It's a perfect solution for women who had their uterus surgically removed due to cancer or other complications. With Ectolife, premature births and C-sections will be a thing of the past. Ectolife is designed to help countries that are suffering from severe population decline, including Japan, Bulgaria, South Korea, and many others.
All right, I'm just going to stop there.
The facility features 75
listen, like I said, there was, a couple of years ago, there was this thing as well that was released. I'm not gonna play the whole thing again, but it's a similar thing.
Scratch. The devices you see here are called growth pods. Each growth pod is designed to replicate the same conditions that exist in.
It's hard to watch, and people aren't going to fully understand, because they're going to say, what's wrong with this? This is good. It helps lives. It helps, grow life and so on and so forth. But to be honest, I think that, with science and what's going on, it's like now we're trying to play God. And I think that we need to be careful, because, and also what we need to understand is the technology that is being used now, what they show us is something that they've been doing for decades. This is not new technology. I remember even going to a financial conference out in the States, and they were talking about faster card payments, and they were talking about things like Apple Pay, stuff like that. And they were saying, before Apple Pay, that technology existed like 10, 20 years prior. All that happened was, Apple found a way to brand it. And I feel like this is what's happening with this as well. It's like, this technology has existed for a long time. It's just now coming out into the open. And I think we need to be careful, because, my thing is like, what were the experiments that needed to be done to even produce this? We talk about, in one of the videos we talked about, we talked about freezing embryos, and the technology would be, that we use it all the time, especially like IVF. We take a seed and we take an egg, we put it together and we put it in the womb, and we say, that's good. And I'm not here to speak against anybody that's had IVF or anything like that, but what I'm trying to say is there's a technology that is behind this, and it's kind of like, what were you doing in order to develop this, and what is the end goal? Because they would take that as stage one of the technology, but stage two was, okay, now we're freezing human beings. So now we can take a seed, and now we can take an egg, and we can put it together, and now we have an embryo, and let's freeze these embryos. So now you have a bunch of hospitals and different healthcare centers that have frozen babies, and either what they're going to do, they're going to kill the babies, or they're going to put them in these growth pods. And I think we're just playing God. And what's really dangerous about this as well is, like, I'm just going to be honest, this is like Nephilim technology. When we go back to the book of Genesis, Genesis mentions, and also the book of Enoch, if you go look at the book of Enoch, it talks about, the sons of God coming down into the daughter of Eve, but it also talks about these fallen ones basically corrupting the whole of humanity and corrupting creation where they would take one species, another species, put it together and inhabit that. And you know, it's just a dangerous place to be. And for me, I would just say, like, you know, keep your eyes open. This isn't great. This isn't good. I don't believe this is what the Lord wants. Like, do you know what I mean? The Lord has created human womb, a mother and a father for a reason. And now we have everything that is helping people not to be in relationships, not to have a mother and father, and to produce people without the boundaries that God has designed. It's a dangerous place to be, and this world is getting darker and darker. So I would just say, Remnant, be aware. I do not think this is of God. This is not what God wants. He wants a man. He wants a woman. He wants love. He wants union. And if there's anything that would prohibit us from moving forward or developing, or, you know, pregnancy or whatever it is, I think that it's for us to go back to the Creator. In the Bible, we see many people that were barren, but God opened their womb. And I think what science is trying to do now is, like, you know, there is great science, but I think also it's like now you're replacing the Lord, and now you're replacing God to the point where it's like you don't need God. I think it's a dangerous place to be. But yeah, I just wanted to make you guys aware of it. So stay tuned, because we're going to talk about more stuff right here on The Remnant. If you would like to partner with us, please visit our website and subscribe to our all access subscription. If you would like more information on other ways you can partner, please visit iamondemand.net/partner.